Good afternoon, everybody. Good to be with you again this afternoon. And let's start off today with some things that happened, kind of a follow-up on City Council meeting on Tuesday night. It's this time of the year that we have an election for the Mayor Pro Tem. We covered that last week when we went ahead and had everybody come in for canvassing the vote, and we did our Mayor Pro Tem, and that was Niner Willard, who had been serving as your Mayor Pro Tem. The other one were a number of mayoral appointments that are confirmed by council on both all of our commissions and some committees. So, for example, all of our municipal court judges, our prosecutors, our cemetery sexton, those were all reappointed. A couple of new appointments to the Public Housing Authority. We had 3 different appointments to our Planning and Zoning Commission. A number of reappointments and new appointments to the Zoning Board of Adjustments. A couple more on a Boerne Public Library. We had 3 new ones on our CVB, or our Convention and Visitor Bureau Advisory Board, and there were a couple of other just internal ones to our Utility Committee and our Governmental Roundtable. In addition to those things, on Tuesday night, the council untabled the vote on 12 HERF. We then were going to take action, but their request, the contractor's developer's request, had been withdrawn, so there was no action taken on that. That'll be coming forward to council at a later date. We also had a resolution. About every 6 or 7 years, our gas supplier, for those of you that have got a gas as a utility in your homes, or in a commercial setting, they've got to shut down those gas supplies and inspect that line where that gas comes into the city. That would be a terrible interruption because all of that process takes about 18 days. So in the past, we've gone to another supplier as a backup to be able to force through the gas and to keep that utility still going for all those folks that use that. And we passed that resolution on Tuesday night. Also set a public hearing for July 10th on the master plan. That's going to give you and a number of other people the opportunity to weigh into, because it will be on our website, any comments that you would have, we would appreciate, to our master plan. And what we'll take up then on July 10th will be the first public hearing and the first reading of that ordinance. Then there were a number of other public hearings that were set coming up on June 12th. First one will be permanent zoning of property at 140 Enterprise Parkway. That's about 5 acres out there. Also, we've got automobile sales where Bowie Lumber used to be, and the restaurant out there that now will be a Hovey used car dealership. Along with next to it will be the Polaris ATM or ATV dealership. There's a proposed rezoning on 5 acres on Fry Street. That's being brought to you by the Boerne United Pentecostal Church and Dave Luciani for some townhomes, garden homes. And then we had a discussion on an additional utility here, and that's a stormwater utility. It was an introduction really to City Council for them to better understand what that utility could be, what kind of expenditures that would be, what kind of income to the city, and what kind of drainage issues would we be able to tackle with that source of revenue coming in. So lots of work for City Council this last Tuesday night, lots of work that they've set up for themselves to tackle as we go forward here in the near future. One of the biggest things, though, as you know, Back in March, staff started with their budgeting process. That's leading up now to June, where City Council will receive or take a look at that budget for the first time. We will have individual council meetings with each one of them, with the budget, with the finance department, all of that leading up to the final vote sometime around the 1st of September, because our new fiscal year, as you know, begins the 1st of October. Just wanted to remind everybody about a couple of other things. It is Energy Star sales tax holiday, begins this Saturday. Remember, those are those appliances at the local stores, the Sears, the Home Depots, the Lowe's, wherever they may be located. These are items that have got that Energy Star badge on there or sticker on there. There certainly are some savings on those going forward, so take a look at those if you're interested in that. We've got the first ever Boerne History Day on Saturday, starting at 10 o'clock, including at 4. There's 6 different historic sites to be open for the tours. First one is the Agricultural Heritage Museum there at City Park and 46 East. You got the Coleman King Historic House, which is right here next to City Hall. The Henry Graham Building, which is right behind the Coleman King House on the property here, and the Pioneer Kitchen. All 3 of those are located right here on City Hall site. Along with that is the Kendall County Historic Jail Museum and the Tice Family House, which is there on South Main. Tickets are $15. On Saturday, they'll have big bright balloons up indicating where the locations are. It gets you into all 6, and so if you've ever wanted to see some of these historical places here in Boerne, Saturday will be the time for that to happen. Well, in the past few days, we have had some wildlife excitement here in and around Boerne. An Egyptian goose, now I might tell you, that is affectionately known as Quacky Chan. Remember, I'm just the messenger. I didn't name the Egyptian goose. Down on Riverboro, that was spotted with a dart on one of its wings. And so we were successful in capturing Quacky, and our animal service folks were successful in removing the dart and giving him a good exam, and you'll be happy to know that Quacky is fine. He's down there somewhere on River Road, so if you run across Quacky, make sure you give him a great big hello, but all is good. On the sadder part of that news, last week we notified everyone through Facebook and every other social media that we've got that a couple of children around Currington Elementary School found a bat, picked it up. Unfortunately, it tested positive for rabies, so now these kids are going through their post-exposure rabies shots. So please, if you will, remind your kids, no matter how cute wild animals are, please don't touch them. Please call. Our animal control people will come by, very safely capture them. No one will be harmed. We'll be able to test them and get them back out in the wild if that is the resolution that we reach. So be careful about that. School's out soon. Be mindful of that. Be safe. Just because school's out doesn't mean those kids aren't darting across the street. So let's be watching for them. Thank you so much for joining me today. Any questions, any comments, remember you can get a hold of Pam here at City Hall. She'll be happy to help you with them, and we'll try to respond to those right here during our time together. Thanks again for joining me. Mike Schultz, Mayor, City of Boerne.